Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Celtic Way YouTube page, X page, and Facebook page. My name is Ryan McGinley. Tonight, I'm delighted to be joined by Tony Haggerty at A Haggerty on the X handle. Hearts v Celtic lineup reaction. Kyogo leads the line as Trusty and Carter-Vickers start in defence. Tony, I'll just read out the team in full tonight for tonight's big game against Hearts. You've got Kasper Schmeichel in goals, a back four of Greg Taylor, Austin Trusty, Cameron Carter-Vickers, and Alistair Johnston left to right. Cal McGregor starts in the base of midfield alongside Arne Engels and Rio Hatate in front of him, and it's a front three of Kyogo Furuhashi leading the line on the left, Aiza Maeda and Nicholas Kuhn on the right. The subs for tonight are Sinisalo, Scales, Ida, Baye, Yang, McCowan, Bernardo, Forrest and Ralston. It's a really big opportunity tonight for Celtic. Results have really went Celtic's way this afternoon. Aberdeen losing their first game in the league this season to St Mirren, and Rangers dropping points at home to Dundee United as well. Tony, quickly, or not quickly rather, first of all, I'm telling you to wrap up, we've just started. Tony, what's your opinion on that lineup, and maybe more importantly, what's your opinion on the events so far today?
The manager's went hard and strong there, hasn't he? My own predicted 11, I brought in Bernardo for Hatate, but if it wasn't that, then that's the team I would have gone for as well. So, yeah, it's as I said before, you trust the managers and you have complete faith and confidence in these players to deliver as well. And there's some nice strength and depth on the bench there, Ryan, if called upon and needed. Listen, Celtic can't control what happens at Ibrox and they can't control what happens in Paisley, but they can control the narrative right here and now. And if they can move ahead of Aberdeen at the top of the table, then great. But it's a wonderful opportunity to go 11 clear of your rivals before you've even crashed open the advent calendars. And I think that's what will be on Celtic's mind today or tonight. And I think we'll see a clinical and professional performance from Celtic, Ryan. I really do. As I say, I've got every faith in that 11 and the A and others that will come off the bench and contribute tonight. But yeah, that's a really strong team for me. And I trust them to do the business.
Yeah, just quickly before we go and talk about individuals in the team this evening, it's a really strong team that Celtic have brought in. If you want to support us just that little bit more, you can join our YouTube members channel for just £2.99 a month. By doing so, you'll receive early video access, priority comments, and exclusive members chat function. Click that join button next to the subscribe button. If you want to just subscribe, that is completely free. You'll get notifications when we go live with videos like these, post-match videos, as well as morning briefings and tactical analysis. So click that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Join the comments section, which is getting busier and busier by the second at this moment in time, as we would expect. It's a late... Yeah, I know. There's a multitude of factors. A late game. I think results going in Celtic's favour, but the only way that these results can go in Celtic's favour is if they compound those results with their own good result tonight against Hearts. Now, Tony, just having a wee look at that team tonight, it was the team that was leaked earlier on today. I did receive a WhatsApp with this team on it. I suppose the team pretty much picks itself at this moment in time, maybe out with Bernardo, but it was still quite disappointing to see the fact that this team was again leaked on an external source. It was all the same names. It was Carter-Vickers, Austin Trusty, Arne Engels, etc. That came to fruition tonight, round about 15 minutes ago, when it was announced that this team was going to be playing against Hearts. Tony, this is an issue that needs to be sorted by Celtic, because this team's been out in the open for 5-6 hours now. And any advantage that Hearts would have got if they'd have got that team directly to them, then they could have prepared and focused on that.
Yeah, I mean, I brought the issue up at Hampden to Brendan Rodgers, and he said they would do everything to try and plug that leak, mole, source, whatever you want to call it. But it's clearly not happening, because it continues to happen. And it's, as a manager had he say on it that day, Ryan, what else can a manager do? But it's becoming problematic, isn't it? And it does no one any good. And I just hope that they can get to the bottom of that issue soon enough. But the most important issue for Celtic tonight's 3 points, Ryan. And we've been in this movie before. We were here in March after a similar thing happened, and Celtic failed to take advantage of that, and they lost 2-0. Incidentally, their last domestic defeat So here's
8 months ago, Tony.
Yeah,
It does not feel like 8 months ago at all. I remember when we walked into this room tonight, it was the first thing I thought of Brendan Rodgers' post-match comments in which he sort of called out the referees for their performance, not just for Yang's sending off, but the penalty decision against Tomoki Iwata.
Yes.
I believe it was when Alistair Johnson bumped into him. Where could he go with that? But it's a very different game. And what I would say is a very different Celtic right now. You know, they've got a real opportunity. It was tight then. The league was tight then. Celtic have a real opportunity tonight to put clear daylight between themselves and Rangers, and a little bit of daylight between themselves and Aberdeen. Aberdeen have blanked. Rangers have stumbled again. It's time for Celtic to take advantage of those two results and really maintain their dominance at the top of the table.
How demoralising would it be if Celtic turned out a statement win?
You wouldn't put it past them at this point.
You wouldn't put it past them. So I'm half expecting that, I have to say, because I've got every faith in this team, as I said at the start, to deliver. I just think it's a confident squad of players, and they all know their job and their role in that team, and they know how to perform. And this is the games that they relish. They don't come any bigger and better than tonight, Ryan. You know, Tynecastle under the lights with a few Celtic supporters there, a small contingent, but that's the kind of things that the Celtic players love. It's what they were born for. It's what the manager always G's them up for. You know, so I'm really, I can't wait for tonight to happen. As I say, I'm mindful of what happened in March, but Celtic are in a vastly different place from where they were then. You know, the 8 months ago, and what a chance to just serve another warning to everybody else that they mean business and just be clinical and ruthless tonight.
That's what they've got to do, Tony. If Celtic are to win this game and go 11 clear of Rangers and 3 points clear of Aberdeen, where are they going to win this game tonight? Where is it going to be won or lost tonight for Celtic? Where is the most important area for you? You can just hear in the background, I think there's stuff going on between Hibs and Dundee at Dens Park. That game kicked off. It was a delayed kick-off. I think it was around about 6 o'clock, but that game's going on just now. Obviously got loads of people from Edinburgh in this room, so a bit of interest in that game for sure. Where is the game going to be won or lost tonight, Tony?
You know what I'm going to say, don't you? I think the back of the pack's pretty solid. It's pretty fine. I always concentrate on the 6 from the halfway line onwards. That's where it's won and lost.
The front six.
You have a winger who's at the top of his game at this moment in time. Nicholas Kuhn. You trust Dijsselmeyer to put in one of those shifts because Hearts are going to be physical, they're going to be robust, they're going to come at you. So he's going to put in one of those selfless, sacrificial performances for the team. Present Kyogo with a chance he'll score. And Hatate's hit a purple patch, hasn't he? Callum McGregor, if he gets within striking distance, he's having a pop more than ever. And Arne Engels, lots of people still saying that he's finding his feet, but he's got class in his locker, Ryan. You know, some things that he does are class, and he is finding his feet. He's a young guy. Again, just trying to fit into the Celtic jersey, the Celtic style, but he'll get there. But the manager sees enough to keep playing him from the start, Ryan. That's good enough for me. And I think it's nights like tonight where Engels can, this is his platform on stage, go and show it again.
I seem to remember a certain other player in that midfield tonight having a breakout game at Tynecastle a couple of games after he joined. I know he did well against Hibs on his debut. Look at Rio Hatate, the thunder strike that he brought out against the howitzer, the one that the shot that was actually quite central, but it was so quick that Craig Gordon couldn't get anywhere near it. It was a really great moment, and I think from that point on his career only went up and up, especially that season, because he brought out those 2 goals against Rangers. He really did show out and show up, which was good to see. Tonight could be the same for Arne Engels. We've been calling on that thunder shot. Yes, he's got venom in those boots, and I think the Celtic support and people covering Celtic want to see that from him tonight. His numbers are good. His underlying numbers are good. He's clearly a good player. He's easy on the eye, a good player to watch. He's a good penalty kick taker, could be important. Adam Ida got a penalty last time out at Tynecastle and missed it, which, if he scored that one, it would be a completely different game. The Yang sending off doesn't happen. They allowed the opponents, the home side, to get back into the game. Yang gets sent off, and from then on, it was pretty much one-way sailing. So having somebody like Arne Engels, who's got ice in his veins in terms of from the tip 12 yard or from the penalty spot, It's a good weapon to have. It's a different weapon to have, but a good one. I think we're all kind of waiting for that standout performance from him. I think we've seen it in parts against Bratislava, a little bit against Rangers as well. But we want to see that 90-minute performance from Arne Engels. He's been playing for Belgium. Let's see that Belgium international come to the fore for Celtic.
And again, I get back to that. That's why I say I always pinpoint that offensive six. But in an offensive way, I know some of them are going to have to do some defensive backtracking as well. But offensively, that's quite potent, Ryan. That strikes terror into any Scottish opposition, or it would be. I mean, Nicholas Kuhn running at you, you know what he's wanting to do, and half the time, or more than half the time, you're powerless to prevent it. It's a man at the top of his game, and interesting during the week that Nagelsmann said he was looking at him. Brilliant. I mean, how confident must Kuhn feel then after hearing that? Inwardly thinking, that's another ambition that I could tick off in my career soon.
It's grabbed Nagelsmann's attention. And we did speak about that after the Leipzig game. We said there is no better way to announce yourself internationally than doing it against one of your former teams and your former countrymen as well. Yeah. And RB Leipzig, he's shown it. Now Nagelsmann has watched him, and now he's got him in his radar.
And this is a big game domestically. So another chance to showcase what you can do. And Kuhn so far hasn't let anybody down in that sense. And, he's on fire. What is it, 21 goal contributions, 10 goals, 11 assists. Incredible numbers, absolutely incredible numbers. And he shows no sign of stopping. And on the other side as well, Dyson Maeda, I call him the Forrest Gump of Celtic because you never know what you're going to get. But see when he's on it as well, listen, defences can't cope. And if the two of them are functioning in a creative sense, then you've got a centre forward there who's just waiting to capitalise on the service that they provide. And if you provide Kyogo with a service, he'll score. So that's why that kind of six are important. They're always important to me, but certainly offensively. And I think Celtic have got the tools and the wherewithal there to really go at Hearts tonight and put in a 5-star performance.
Yeah, absolutely. Should we comment on the defence now? I think the defence is just as important. Attack wins games, defences win championships. That's very, very true. Got a guy who's making his first appearance since signing a new deal with the club, keeping him till 2029, and Alistair Johnston. He's been one of the standouts this season, hasn't he? In all competitions, apart from the game against Borussia Dortmund, but I think you can put a blanket over that game. Everybody would be covered in terms of how badly they were on the night. He was bad on that night, but he made up for it against Leipzig. He played well against Slovan Bratislava and Atalanta as well. So Johnston's here for the long haul. He's here till 2029. He seems happy. He seems settled. But that defence now picks itself. Maybe the only position now that's contentious at this moment in time for me is between Greg Taylor and Alex Bailly. What a position to be in, to have two really, really competent left backs.
What have you noticed about the big games that roll along? Greg Taylor's got the nod, hasn't he? Mm-hmm. Over Alex Bailly.
I'm sure he did.
So he got the nod in Europe, didn't he?
Taylor's playing, it's not Bailly.
Yeah.
Unless there's been an injury, in which case we've not heard anything about that as of yet. We'll keep you updated if that is the case. But at this moment in time, from looking at the starting lineup that Celtic posted at 6:30, it is Greg Taylor that plays at left back instead of Alex Bailly.
So what we've noticed, and we spoke about this on the podcast.
Panicking us, guys. Come on, you're panicking us.
Myself and Hamish, that he always goes, Taylor's his go-to, isn't he, for big matches, domestically and in Europe. And we all like what Alex Bailly has brought to the table so far, but we're not sure if there's longevity in it. So maybe that's why there's all the rumours that he might be getting recalled from the loan spell in January. So be it. But Alex Bailly, if he comes on for Greg Taylor at any point in the game, you trust him to do a job as well. And how reassuring is it that you feel comforted by the fact that Austin Trusty and Cameron Carter-Vickers are the central defensive partnership that you want to see moving forward? Yet Scales has been arguably Celtic's best defender up until this point, but he will get surpassed by Austin Trusty and Cameron Carter-Vickers if they continue to be the central defensive pairing moving forward, which we all believe they should be. And Alistair Johnston's just been terrific. You cannot praise Alistair Johnston highly enough for his contribution this season, and it's manifested in itself in a new 5-year deal. Man's in a happy place. The team's in a happy place. The manager is at pains to stress that everybody is singing from the same hymn sheet and they're in a good place. Show you're in a good place. Go and do the business tonight and go and issue some kind of statement and give the 576 who are here supporting you a show.
Exactly, yes. Hopefully all of them actually made the trip. I'm sure the vast majority of them would have. I don't suppose any spare tickets would have been left spare for too long, especially a game like this. Even though this game's on the television tonight on Sky Sports, it's still going to be a game that's tightly contested. That's very interesting. We'll need to have a wee double check at that. Might be a typo on the Celtic site, or there might be an injury. I'll double check that maybe once the stream is over, and then change that accordingly. But from what I could see on the team sheet, it said that Greg Taylor was in the starting lineup. I'm going to double check on their page just to be triple certain. I believe that I read Taylor's name. Yeah, Taylor's name's in the starting lineup. So unless something has changed in the past 10-15 minutes, then it will be Greg Taylor that starts the game. Another player that got a contract extension this morning, actually. It was 9 a.m. when the news came out. An early start for the Celtic admin today, for sure, especially if he's got this game at 7:45 tonight. James Forrest signed a year's extension, keeping him at the club until 2026. Now, I know the last time that he signed that a new 3-year deal, there was quite a bit of talk about him, especially the fact he hadn't had a lot of game time. I don't think anybody's annoyed at James Forrest getting, due to the performance, especially last season. Some of those big performances against Dundee, etc.
Even in the last game, Ryan, he came on against Kilmarnock and he looked the part.
Absolutely.
He has a valid contribution to make. Whether it's coming on as an impactful sub or starting matches, there are some games where you'll be starting James Forrest because his attitude's spot on. He's looking as fit as ever, despite his advancing years. Always call him the evergreen James Forrest because he is. And delighted that he's signed a contract extension. It's clearly an indication of what the manager thinks about him, and passing on that knowledge and wisdom of your expertise and experience that you've had to others, and being that one club man, you can't put a price on that. It's just everything about James Forrest, the definition of unsung hero at a football club. And long may he continue, and long may we continue to play football matches for Celtic and impact games and win trophies. Good luck to him. He's one of these guys who probably doesn't get, as you would say, his flowers enough, but he'll certainly, whenever he does decide to call it a day, he'll be the most decorated Celtic player in history of all time. And it's an incredible achievement, that.
Mm-hmm. And it's weird to say because he's got over 100 goals and 100 assists. He has had ups and downs in his Celtic career, but he's remained consistent. I think he was a massive part as to why Celtic didn't do 10 in a row. That injury that he had during that season was a massive miss, because you take those goals and assists out of the team, you're going to have to fill that somewhere else, and it just so happened that other players weren't doing that either. So it's good to have him back. It's good that he's managed to change the narrative around his Celtic career as well. And I think he's not a bit part row. I think that's a bit disingenuous to call him that. But he doesn't play as many games as maybe as what he would like, because of his age and because of maybe he's losing a yard of pace or so. But he's still making a big impact, and we probably don't see the full impact of what he brings. He's helping Dyson Maida, he's helping Nicholas Kuhn, helping Yang off the pitch, all of these guys. So yeah, and you can't have too many leaders in the team. And James Forrest is probably an unassuming one, but he's a leader all the same.
It's what Gordon Strachan termed a good teammate. Brendan Rodgers wants everybody in that Celtic team, whether you're playing or not, to be a good teammate and help others. And it's just stuff you see away. You don't see away from the football part that that makes Celtic player a squad player, call him what you like, certainly a first team player. And as I say, James Forrest, long may it continue. But Ryan, tonight is the start of the ultra marathon, as the manager said. Bring it on. There's a spring in your step and my step heading into this. Imagine how the players feel. Imagine how the manager feels. You're going to get them tight in the dressing room in the fullness of time and send them out there and say, right, go out there and perform, put on a show, go ahead of Aberdeen, clear at the top, and put some real distance between yourself and your main rivals.
Yeah.
11 points is a big carrot to to dangle in front of those players, go out and grasp it.
I think people have got two screens on at the same time, because I'm hearing a lot about Tottenham Hotspurs just now in the comments. I believe that former Celtic manager Ange Postecoglou is up 3-0 against Man City away from home, the Etihad Stadium, which is quite an incredible result. It just goes to show you, people said that he probably couldn't do it down south, but he's doing it against probably the best club side in the world, out of sorts at the moment, but a good advert for Celtic as well. The fact that the former manager is doing so well. I know people might not like to speak about him too much. He's a former manager. He's clearly in the rear view mirror, but it's still a success story for Celtic.
Yeah, but with the best will in the world, my focus and your focus is on tonight. It's a great result, and yep, fair play to him, and we wish him well, but he's not at Celtic anymore. That's my thoughts and sentiments. And as I say, Celtic to control this narrative tonight, you want them to be bang at it right from the start. I think the manager will have his players bang at it. You look at that team, that's as strong as it gets, Ryan. Mm-hmm. You would say that's Celtic's strongest 11, and I'm glad he's gone with that. We will see if there's any adverse effects from the international break affecting some of the players, but you would like to think not, and I would like to also think that these guys are champing at the bit to play a crucial league match, but an important league match, and some of them will be mindful of the fact of the last visit here. And I don't use words like revenge because I'm not a big lover of that, but I think in the back of their minds there's maybe some scores to settle, Ryan.
Yep. Speaking of scores, everybody get your predicted score lines in the comments, and we'll try and bring up as many as we can. If you've already put yours into the chat, please bring it up again just so we've got them all in the one space. Tony, how do you see this game going tonight, and what's your prediction? I presume you're going to be going for a Celtic win tonight.
A Celtic win, and I'm going to go biggish, 4-0, Ryan, I'm going to say.
4-0. I may actually do something unprecedented. I'm going to say 3-0 Celtic. Okay. I'm going to go one below. I know you usually go one up or one down. I'll go one below. I'll say 3-0. I still think this is going to be a tough match, regardless of the form that Hearts are in this moment in time. We've got a new manager. We'll see how that pans out. Neil Critchley, who Brendan Rodgers knows well from his time at Liverpool. The two have worked alongside each other at Liverpool, so there's quite a lot of links with Rodgers with other managers. It's a small world, the footballing world, but definitely one. Yeah, it can be. But if you're a popular person like Rodgers and you've worked with so many good people, then you're going to have friends in football. They won't be friends for the 90 minutes, but I'm sure they'll have a warm conversation before and after the game.
Just want to say thank you to the 834 people that are joining us live at the minute, guys. You never cease to amaze me. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, and we always do. Yeah, go on, Ryan.
Let's get some of these scoreline predictions. It's a confident bunch in this comment section this evening, I'll tell you that. First of all, 420 somewhere, 4-0 to us, the good guys. Hail, hail. Hazel Finn, always in there. Celtic 4-0. Maybe they're all just copying you, Tony. Have you got the script for tonight's game? Steve Kelly says 3-0, going with my scoreline. Mark Fairfield going 3-1. Not a realistic scoreline, I would say, for sure. I'm hoping that all of these results are Celtic first and then Hearts, rather than the home team getting a lot of comprehensive wins. Yeah, hopefully that's the case. Brown Warrior, I'm not going to bring that one up, but he says 5-1, Kyogo with a hat-trick. You can insert the words elsewhere. David Canavan says 6-0 to Celtic. Parkhead Boy has given his goal scorers as well as the 3-0 scoreline. McGregor, Kyogo and Maeda. Celt88 says 3-1 to Celtic. 3-0 says Camden NW1. McLaughlin says 3-0 to Celtic. Celtic says 5-0 to Celtic. Cheryl Ann Speary says 4-0 to the champions. Maeda first goal. There's so many. Thank you to everybody. We can't read every single one of these out. We'd be here until kick-off probably, and then people would actually be given the actual score. Nothing each, 1-0. Cardiff Carroll says 5-0 to Celtic. So yeah, a very, very confident bunch. Graham Caldwell's actually coming in. It says, yep, a very, very, very big result today for St Mirren. Doing really well. The table's looking really positive for St Mirren at the moment. Stephen Robinson, good manager, very, an experienced manager, did a great job at Motherwell, and is now doing a similarly great job at St Mirren, even despite the financial issues that they had a couple of years ago, doing really well to reinvest in the team, and they're flying high in mid-table at the moment, and that's all they can really ask for.
Notable scalp they've claimed today, the first team to beat Aberdeen domestically in the league. Celtic, of course, beat them in the League Cup semi, so well done to your team there. Appreciate that. Appreciate you coming in as well and coming on the chat, regular visitor to the Celtic way, so thanks for that, Graham. Appreciate it.
Colin Rogers says Hatate masterclass 5-0 to Celtic. He's got history for this ground. Fingers crossed he can bring it back, and you know, not just that game that he scored against Craig Gordon, but he also got an amazing assist for Kyogo to win the league in Ange Postecoglou's second season, I believe. I think O scored in that game also, but Hatate was brilliant in that game.
I was there the night he scored the howitzer, Ryan, and it was in like a bullet in real time. Even in slow motion, it was still travelling really very.
Yeah, it's always the slow motion. See, when that's going at roughly normal speed, you realise just how strong the strike was.
And I had a brilliant vantage point of that goal, and honestly, I don't think he could have hit the ball any sweeter. And it's one of the most joyful goals that you've seen in a while in the past few years at Celtic, certainly from a player who came in and made his mark.
Yeah, David Turnbull. I don't think it's that David Turnbull, but he says that Greg Taylor to score. I don't know why. He just has a feeling. I know why he's got that feeling, because he scored in that crazy 4-3 game. I think that was the game in which Celtic were guinea pigs to VAR on the day. That was the first time that VAR was brought in to Scottish football, and it showed on that day. But Celtic still managed to, despite the circumstances, come out with a win. Greg Taylor scored that late goal at Tynecastle. That's probably the reason why you're thinking that. Any final thoughts, Tony, before we head off and get sorted for the game?
I just think it's there for Celtic tonight. The results have gone for them today. As I say, they couldn't control that narrative, but they can control this one and go out there and make a statement and put more joy on the Celtic supporters' faces, waking up 3 points clear of Aberdeen in the title race, and hopefully 11 points clear of Rangers as well.
Yeah, out with a complete and utter collapse, which, you know, it's very unlikely, impossible, I would say, for it to happen. Celtic will remain top regardless of this result tonight, but it's all about Celtic putting an exclamation mark on this weekend's proceedings, a real chance to really show their stuff at the top of the table and consolidate their position at the top of the table. We will be back
to tighten the screw as well, Ryan.
Yeah,
basically
turn the screw and tighten the screw. But we will be back after the game to discuss everything that happened in the game, win, lose or draw. We will be back after Brendan Rodgers and a player spoke to the media. Hopefully you can join us then. Thank you to the 866 people that have joined us on this show. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support us just that little bit more, you can press the subscribe button. It's completely free, and you'll get notifications when we go live with our post-match videos, as well as pre-match, morning briefings, and statistical analysis and interviews. If you want to support us that little bit more, you can join our YouTube members channel, £2.99 a month. You'll receive early video access, priority comments, and exclusive members chat function. Thank you very much to everybody for joining us this evening. We'll be back after the game to discuss whatever happens in the 90 minutes that are to come in just over 20 minutes' time. Until then, guys, enjoy the game, enjoy your night, and fingers crossed Celtic get another 3 points and remain clear at the top of the league. Thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you after the game. Thank you.